Welcome to our world. Won't you come on in? Waiting just for you. Welcome to our world.
Are they working? Do you have it on the correct input?
Check 1, 2.
Are you sure?
Check. Check 1, 2.
Get your mouth away from that. Today?
Oh.
What?
Okay.
That's pretty funny. Today, I would like to start with the airing of grievances.
Oh, wait, I had no time to think about
Because here's what just
grievances.
happened, folks. Okay? In this little makeshift office we have here, I am currently using a cardboard box as my desk while Jim gets a desk that he doesn't even use for his mic. It's a waste. I should sit over there, okay? I'm using a cardboard box in which sits something of value to Jim, okay? And I want to make it clear, I'm also sipping some tea right now, okay? And my own father just told me that if I got tea anywhere near this box, like if I accidentally spilled my tea, that he would kill me, okay?
In no uncertain terms.
He he said it multiple times.
I did. I wanted to make it very clear.
It's obvious.
Your life will end.
Well, you brought me into this world. I guess you could take me out.
Yeah. Right.
But I am grieved by this. Because, first of all, that's a wild thing to say to your child, okay?
If you
Second
spill
of all,
tea.
I am irreplaceable. Or, yes, I am irreplaceable. I don't know why I had to think about it. I am irreplaceable. Whatever's in this box that you don't want to tell the listeners what it is replaceable regardless of the financial cost. You cannot replace me.
Well, irregardless.
He said he would kill me. Irregardless is not a word.
Okay.
It's not a word. Regardless. It's just regardless. Which brings me to another point. It's not reiterate. Okay? It's just iterate. The word iterate means to repeat a point. So if you say something, if I say to you, it's rude that you just told me you would kill me, I would then say, let me iterate. It's rude that you just told me you would kill me.
What if you did it again?
I guess if I wanted to do it again, then I could say, let me reiterate.
It's
but
like
you
if
don't
I
use reiterate.
It's like if I was. It's like if I went somewhere and I felt like I think I've been here before.
It's deja vu.
But then what if it happened again?
It's still deja vu.
Maybe it's deja vu.
It's deja vu.
Okay. Okay. Deja vu?
No.
Irregardless. Let's
Stop
get on to
that.
it. Okay.
What are your complaints?
What's next?
Stop. What are you doing with your job?
I get mad.
Nope, I have another complaint. Whatever you're doing with your job right now, knock it off.
I have food stuck in the back of my
Great.
teeth.
I'm sure the listeners really care about that.
Okay.
And they love to hear that.
Let me just use my thumb and index finger to see if
Ew. That's so gross. You know what's hilarious about all of this is I'm not even kidding you. Coming into today, as I was walking the dogs this morning, I was thinking, I don't really have any complaints. If we record today, I don't know what I would complain about even. And here we are starting with complaints because of you.
Okay.
What? Yours was you don't like. What? You don't have to explain the whole situation, but...
No. I'm just saying, I'm trying to think of a way to generalize this to make it very simple. Okay, I'll put it this way. When you have a small company, right? The reason small companies are successful is they can switch direction on a dime. They can make decisions very quickly.
Sure.
As a company gets larger...
There's not a lot of bureaucratic
There's
red
not
tape.
a lot of bureaucracy and red tape. As a company gets bigger... Okay, you start to get bureaucracy and red tape. Okay, now, to be clear, a certain amount is necessary. But, okay, that typically isn't what happens. In a typical scenario, there is way too much bureaucracy. Why can I not say that?
Did you not say
and
that
red
because
tape,
you couldn't say the word?
Bureaucracy. I keep wanting to say it wrong. I know the word. I have to think about it as I say it because it sounds wrong otherwise. Bureaucracy. Okay. There's way too much. And the reason is because there are a lot of people who kind of fall back on that, right? In other words, instead of making a decision which is based on common sense, I would much rather be able to go to a book, be it an employee manual, some sort of management guidelines, an SOP, okay, standard operating procedure, because I'm too dumb to think on my own, and therefore, let me go to this book. And because some people don't want to have to make hard decisions, okay, which technically are very easy decisions sometimes. Basically, they don't want to be called out if they make a bad decision. So they fall back on bureaucracy. It makes companies inefficient.
Nailed it.
And it's the reason, and that is the reason why, monopolies are a thing. Hold on, what?
That is the reason.
That's what I said. Oh,
You
yes.
said that's the reason.
That is the
why.
reason companies
Thank you.
eventually, in almost every case, eventually go under. That's why you have some companies that are very big and successful. You think to yourself that this company will be around forever. Nobody will ever overtake this company. And then boom, out of the blue, some other company that you never heard of takes their place. So that's my complaint, because I've dealt with that. I've dealt with that for much of my career.
Yes, you have. Moving.
And it's so frustrating. And that's why a lot of people, hold on, just really quickly. That's why a lot of people, very good people, choose to move from successful companies to startups, because they know startups are so much more focused on the actual result than getting hung up in all the stupid red tape and bureaucracy.
You didn't nail it as much that last time. In the middle, you said it. You said it correctly.
Okay, well, you can
last one was a little rough.
in editing.
In
much of this will wind up on the what's it called?
The cutting room floor.
Cutting room floor.
No,
yes.
it won't. I'm leaving all of that in. Okay. Moving on to.
We will move this to audio tape, an actual tape, so that you can cut it and leave it on the cutting room floor.
Oh, that's where that comes from. That makes sense. Moving on to. I'm pausing there because we still don't have an official jingle for This Week in History.
Oh, no.
And that irks me. So let me let me finish up the airing of grievances by complaining about that.
We've been doing this for a while now.
You, our listeners, are slacking.
Yep.
And anyone, send me a jingle for This Week in History. Thank you. All right, moving on. Thank you for your cooperation in this matter, your prompt cooperation. This Week in History, in 1919, leaders of the Big Four nations meet. Do you know what the Big Four nations are? In 1919?
1919, geez, it had to be the United States. It had to be, I'm going to guess, United States.
Yes.
England.
Yes.
France.
Yes.
Pausing.
Okay.
I will say Russia.
Oh,
darn it.
The last one is Italy.
Oh, that was my... you're not going to believe me, but that was the other one that passed through my head.
During the conference, the Big Four leaders imposed large reparations on Germany. Many historians argue that the sanctions humiliated Germany and placed too great an economic burden on the country, making another war inevitable.
What did it say? Read that again. Many.
I will not. You'll just have to listen
to it. No, it's important. I want to know because it's important.
What? Many historians argue that the sanctions humiliated Germany and placed too great an economic burden on the country, making another war inevitable.
You know the funny thing? You know who agrees totally with that assessment?
Who?
Adolf Hitler.
All right, moving on.
He did. That's one of the reasons.
In 1982, a plane crashes into the Potomac.
What year is that?
1982, an Air Florida Boeing 737 crash.
Yeah, the pilot was Sully. The pilot was I forget his full name.
Sully? It doesn't even say his name here.
Yeah.
It just says the Air Florida flight.
There's a movie about that.
That day, snow in Washington closed the airport temporarily. When it reopened, the plane was de-iced, but the ice still caused the aircraft trouble as it moved away from the gate. The plane finally made it to the airport's only usable runway, but was forced to wait 45 minutes for clearance to take off. Because of the delays, the pilot, it doesn't even say his name, the pilot did not return for more de-icing despite the wait on the runway, and worse, failed to turn on the plane's own de-icing system. Within 30 seconds, the plane crashed into the 14th Street Bridge over the Potomac River, less than a mile away from the runway. You know what's sad? Oh, wait, hold on. Let me read more.
Finish that, yeah.
The 737 fell into the freezing river after striking 7 vehicles traveling on the bridge, killing 4 motorists on impact. Out of the 79 passengers and crew members on board, there were only 5 survivors.
Oh, this can't be the one I was thinking of.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No,
this
that
is
can't be
so
the one I was
sad.
thinking of because I think the pilot in that one
All right.
basically became a hero.
We're talking about
was
this one.
considered.
This is so sad because this is an example of something that was completely avoidable.
Preventable. Yep.
It's like there was no need for this to happen based on the information that we were just given.
I watched that.
Very sad,
I
very
watched the
sad.
show on, I don't know if it's on the History Channel or which one it's on, but it's called Air Disasters. And it's so interesting.
Moving
it talks
on.
about things like, let me finish. It talks about things like this all the time.
This is not just your personal podcast where you can talk to your friends and just tell them about your
have
life.
feedback
We have
that has said you should
clear-
stop interrupting me.
That I should?
Yes.
Who said that?
I don't remember. I just remember I have feedback on that. I don't remember. Go ahead. Continue. I was finished anyway, I guess.
In 1784, the Treaty of Paris is ratified. Do you have anything to say about that?
Treaty of Paris ratified 1784? I don't remember that. No.
Are you finished speaking?
Yes.
Okay. 1559, Elizabeth I is crowned Queen of England. Do you have anything to say about that?
Was Elizabeth II the one that, what's the one that just died?
That's Elizabeth II.
Okay. No.
Are you finished speaking?
Yes.
In 1995, avalanches bury buses in Kashmir, India.
Wow.
400 people were trapped in the 1.5 mile long Jawahar tunnel for several days.
Wow. I don't remember that either. Okay, come on. Come on, keep
1950,
moving.
Boston thieves pull off historic robbery.
1850 or 1950? 1950. Okay. 1950.
You cut me off too.
I was asking for clarification.
Not right now, but I mean in general. Did said person ever mention that you cut me off too? No? This sounds a little biased.
I don't think they did
Let's-
because usually they know. I usually
You know what? You usually what?
I wait until you finish.
No. You know what's so funny about this is that in our everyday conversations, you cut me off so much, it's insane.
And this is your chance.
And the fact that someone, whoever this person is, was like, she cuts you off a lot. That's because that's my life. 98% of the time is him cutting me off in the middle of full sentences. And then I'll say, I was in the middle of a sentence. And he'll say, I thought you were finished. And I'll be like, I was literally mid-word. What do you mean? This is insane. Okay, I'm not taking it out on this viewer. Because obviously...
We have no viewers. Well, we have maybe one.
You know what I mean. Obviously, you don't understand our relationship, and that's fine. And I regret that you feel that way. But you're wrong. All right, moving on. Boston thieves. Should I read? I'm not going to read the whole thing. Ooh, it was... 11 men stole more than $2 million from the Brinks Armored Car Depot in Boston, Massachusetts. It was a nearly perfect crime as the culprits weren't caught until January 1956, just days before the statute of limitations for the theft expired. Wearing navy blue coats and chauffeur's caps similar to the Brinks employee uniforms and rubber Halloween masks, the thieves entered the depot with copied keys. They surprised and tied up several employees inside the company's counting room, filling 14 canvas bags with cash, coins, checks, and money orders for a total weight of more than half a ton. The men were out and in their getaway car in about 30 minutes. No one was hurt in the robbery, and the thieves left virtually no clues. They might have evaded arrest, but for the fact that one man, Joseph Specs O'Keefe, made a deal with the FBI to testify against his fellow robbers after a dispute over the loot led to an attempt on his life.
Wow.
That's actually a really good one. That's insane.
So when did it happen? And it wasn't until how long?
It happened in 1950, and it wasn't until 6 years later,
Okay.
56.
7 years must have been the
statute.
of limitations. Wow.
That's
the
crazy.
statute of limitations.
Nice. 1950, this is the last one for today. China and Soviet Union recognized Democratic Republic of Vietnam. That's exciting.
Yeah, not really. I was listening to something the other day.
Go ahead.
Now for an episode of my personal podcast. No, I was listening to something the other day and they were talking about the difference between the U.S. and China. And they were saying how the U.S., right? Obviously, we have oceans between us and most other countries, but we also have a friendly neighbor to the south and a friendly neighbor to the north. Whereas China has an antagonistic relationship with pretty much all the countries around it. So it sort of changes your perspective on the world. Moving on.
If I do cut you off, it's because I learned it from you.
I thought you were going to say it's because I talk about things like that no one cares about.
No. I wasn't actually listening to what you were saying. No,
Because you learned it from me.
I'm just kidding. Moving on to
Listener feedback. Yeah.
all right, and I didn't have to pause that long because we actually have a jingle for this one. Listener feedback. Welcome. Going to my what was this? Oh, this was the Nepo Babies episode which I hope all of you went and watched Northwest singing or trying to sing as baby Simba in The Lion King. And if you only watch part of it, watch the end, like the very end where she's like, I just can't wait. Like she is horrendous. The very end.
Yeah, that's true. Because when I first listened to it, when you told me about it, and I wasn't so anxious to listen to it, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Not saying that it was good, but I expected it to be like horrible, horrible. But I guess I would look at it as very average for a typical kid that age, right? Very average. So in other words, not broad, shouldn't have been in that play.
Here's the other issue. If I didn't cut you off, you would continue for hours. Okay. I must cut him off.
Okay.
It just has to happen.
All right. Just continue.
Because here's the thing. Remember, after that, I showed you videos of children her age or younger singing.
Oh, some of them were really good.
But that's what I'm saying. Those people exist that are better and that are that age. So it's not just that she's young and she has time to develop.
No.
It was complete nepotism and it was horrendous. Compared to what it could have been for a professional production, horrendous.
I agree. I agree with that.
Listener feedback. That's so annoying that they chose NW for Simba. Also so funny that you can just say NW for her name. Haha. That was a comment. Nice. Also in that episode, I guess I did not make clear, but I almost said reader, this listener clarified that LeBron and Bronny are the first father-son duo to play in the same game. Many fathers and sons have played in the NBA at different times. You probably knew that, but I'm just clarifying. I guess I did not specify that in that episode, but yes, to play in the same game. What were we talking about? Was this from an airing of Grievances? Probably. Someone commented, driving in Philly will make you love Florida drivers. It's totally lawless up here. I know you've driven here a bunch before, but I have to believe it's gotten worse because it's bad. Just the other day, I was sitting in the left lane with my turn signal on, waiting for a green light so I could make my turn. 2 cars flew around me on the right to make my same left turn. I wasn't even waiting long, and the light changed 2 seconds after their stupid maneuver. So annoying.
That's aggravating.
Someone else commented, seriously, it is completely lawless. But that's what happens when they don't actually enforce the laws. Good people like us follow them, and yet the criminals just get away with doing whatever they want and making it more dangerous for the rest of us. That other person responded, right, it's so annoying. Bad people just keep getting bad, getting whatever they want, doing whatever they want.
This is my argument for capital punishment.
Yes. Well, anyway, so kind of talking about that a little bit. This was talking about what? The law and you saying that it's a law, you have to follow the law.
Oh, yeah.
This person commented, I'm just saying your logic of, well, obviously I'm going to follow it because it's the law isn't a fully convincing argument for the reason I'm saying. But yeah, there are notable exceptions like you said. I think I'm definitely more of an anarchist than you are, but only because I don't really trust anyone in power. So I think there are times to not follow whatever you're being told to do. But I do think those instances are few and far between and that society is much better if people just cooperate. Philly driving is exhibit A of that. So that was all part of the same conversation.
What about the other? I had sent you one.
Oh, we're not there yet.
Oh, okay. Do you have more listener comments?
Well, I do, but we can't get to all of them in this episode.
Oh, okay.
That's the whole point.
Okay. Moving on.
And that's the end of the episode.
Okay.
I don't.
Well, that was underwhelming. Just,
Here, I'll end the episode with. Well, usually we end with the airing of Grievances, but we started with that today.
Oh, man, that's my favorite part.
Well, then here, this is perfect.
Okay.
This is a listener comment
Okay.
that says, I have a grievance I'd like to air.
Okay, good.
Automatic soap dispensers in public bathrooms. I guess they're nice if they actually work, but they hardly ever do. And there's usually no other option, so I just can't wash my hands. And the most frustrating part is how stupid it is. It's the most pointless part of the hand washing process to automate. Why would I care about touching a soap dispenser when I'm going to wash my hands a second later?
That's
Valid point.
That's so true. That's so true. You know,
So
you know
true.
what is something that would be an airing of grievances for me, even though this is listener comments?
What?
People that just don't wash their hands. That's just gross.
I almost just said someone's name that you and I both know that does not wash their hands.
Oh,
Anyway,
that's that just grosses me
You
out
know
when
who
I
you
see
are.
someone. No, when I see someone like go in a bathroom, literally, I see them not wash their hands. It's like, ugh, you make me sick.
what a lovely way to,
To end
to
the
go
pod-
into the weekend.
Yes.
Wash your hands, everyone.
Yep. Yep.
Don't interrupt your father when you're recording the podcast, but let him
Okay.
interrupt you in your daily life.
Okay.
And it evens out, I guess.
Okay. I shouldn't have said that. This will be the
can't-
this will be our
here's-
conversation the entire rest of the day.
No, it won't, but we should stop so we can have a conversation. No, I'm just going to say, because you didn't tell me that you've sent me other feedback that people have told you.
I didn't think of it until just then.
Sure.
I
You have to
didn't
tell me the negative feedback too.
I didn't think of it.
How convenient.
Believe me. No,
until I
believe
cut
me.
you
Believe
off.
me. Would I want to offend you in the middle of the podcast? No.
Anyway, have a great weekend, everyone.
Now for the outtakes.
No, we have like 12 outtakes. We don't need the outtakes.
Now for more artificial outtakes.
Smooth jazz. Oh, sorry. Were you finished?
Yes, I'm going to go make some AI generated smooth jazz that you can throw in there. It'll be royalty free. And we are live.
Okay.
We're not live. We're
All right.
recorded.
Oh, you did start
We're
recording?
live on
Oh.
a recorded line.
Why do you say that?
You are on a recorded line.
Anyway,
I have to announce it so that I can't be sued by you.
by me?
I think there's a law that says you have to let someone know when you're recording them. Well, it goes by
I don't know
state.
what that is. But have you know, with one of the most recent updates to phones, to your iPhone, that you can record calls, phone
Oh.
calls. But if you hit the record call button, it says
This
to
call.
both you and the person on the other side of the line, this call is now being recorded or something like that.
Yeah.
And so people were freaking out. Like, I thought this was going to be useful and that I was going to be able to
Yeah.
catch people in lies. And now, how am I supposed to do that when they can hear?
Yeah.
But I think that's probably why. Because
if
you have to
I
tell
was going to
people.
do that, I would use an AI voice for myself.
Of course you would.
And I wouldn't tell the other person, so they would think they were talking to me. But they wouldn't be. So I could deny everything because I'd be like, no, I didn't say that. And how would they prove I did?